National Signing Day 2018, and we are joined by Mizzou head football coach Barry Odom. And Coach, you've got your whole class in, it looks like. Big picture thoughts initially as you look at the new Tigers that will join you this season.
Well, the thing that you look across the country, you're not going to hear one coach say anything other than they're really excited about the class. And for us, the way that our recruiting department and our assistant coaches identified guys really last year at this time for looking forward to today, of the guys we targeted, we hit a great number of those, high percentage, and especially the ones that we were here and able to get on for an official visit, because they were able to come to Mizzou to write their own narrative on what our university is and about, and to see themselves within the vision and the scope of what we're going to do within this program. And they could see themselves here and wanted to be part of it. You always want to address as many immediate needs as you think you have on your roster to make you better going into this season, but also trying to project another year down the road to fit some things in, with different moving parts on where you're going to be, after this season is complete. But I think we hit in the volume of numbers by position just about exactly where we wanted to be, and excited to get them here and get to work, because you talk about all the different things that go into a signing class, and my challenge to those guys is let's not make today or last December signing. That's not the pinnacle. That's just the beginning of the journey on what you're going to be able to get accomplished here.
Signing day was different this year because of the early signing period in late December. How did you guys handle that, and did it shake down the way you wanted to?
Well, a little bit unique, just going through it obviously for the first time, but we signed, really knew of 21 guys that were committed to us in December. So the time after that signing period up until today, spent a lot of time on next year's class, on getting a jump on that, as did everybody else in the country. And then also the number of guys that were available still to go recruit here in the month of January was obviously different than years before. But it'll be interesting to see how the cycle plays out here going into year two with it. Mixed emotions from the high school coaches on how they feel about it. And really, I think if you took a poll of the college coaches, it would probably, everybody's got an opinion and a story on whether it worked or didn't for them. But for us, because of our the ability to identify and really target the guys for the months leading up to it, I'm excited with the class we have.
Do you feel like it was beneficial for players to get the decision out of the way before Christmas and be able to focus on where they're going to go next year? For
some, it really was, and others, I felt like their families really felt rushed on trying to make such a huge decision. I know it's something that not everyone's going to ever be completely happy with what the rules are, but we've got to really take a long look as a coaches association and the NCAA on what's right for prospects and student athletes, because that's, at the end of the day, that's what it's about. They've got to have, number one, you've got to be able to develop relationships with them. You've got to be able to show them the foundation of your program. They've got to feel comfortable with having enough time to get on campus and then make a decision that's so impactful for the rest of their life.
Oftentimes these classes kind of build upon each other. One guy commits, another few do, and they start to communicate with one another, and the class will take on a personality almost. What do you feel like the personality is of this 2018 class?
Well, I think you look at, and that's so true, especially with social media now, that the ability to communicate within and know what's going on in the recruiting world. You always take that class, and there's usually 2 or 3 guys that take the lead on being the main communicators, but a very determined group would be a great descriptive word for them. They've got something to prove, and they're excited to get here.
Young players will oftentimes play in your program. I mean, it's not uncommon for a freshman to get out there and contribute and do big things. What do players have to do now that the ink is drying on the letter of intent and they think about working towards next fall? What do they have to do to be able to play right away for this team?
We look at the attitude and mindset that they need to take, and the summer or the spring semester of a high school senior year, there's a lot of times there's a lot of distractions, and we're able to communicate with them with workouts, expectations. They'll be here the first week of June, locked into our summer program. But more than anything, it's the attitude from now until then on how are you going to approach every day. And I've challenged them all, you look at what we've done the last 2 years, the number of true freshmen that have played, and that's not going to change. If you're ready to come in and contribute and help us go win a game, then you're going to play. It doesn't matter if you're a fifth-year senior or a first-year freshman. So we've got to do a great job on teaching as a staff, being great teachers, but also, for those guys putting themselves in position to go help us.
You also had to integrate some new coaches to your staff on the fly as you recruited. How did the new staff members integrate into the group and help with the recruiting process?
I thought our recruiting department, number one, did a great job during the transition in the month of December, really keeping things together, being able to over-communicate where we were in each situation. Then the signing date happened in December. And then the new guys that joined us did a tremendous job on working together on getting our recruiting system down on the evaluation component of it, and then working together to team recruit and also position recruit the different areas and the spots that we had remaining.
We're not going to go through the whole class guy by guy because we'd be here all day, but when you think about what you have coming back from last year and then you add the players that you're adding here today and back in December, what do you feel like this class adds to your football team?
Well, you look at the receiving core that we signed, 6 guys that they won't all play, but we're going to have to count on some of those guys to come in and help us. Just the law of reps and numbers on what we have coming back and what we need. I also look at some of the guys up front in the offensive line. Even though we played really well at that spot last year, the depth that those guys are going to provide, and it's hard to do in this league to play at that spot, but we've got to get them ready to go. Just because from just looking at our depth, there could be an injury away from really being in the fold. And then defensively, there'll be some guys on the back end that might be able to help us, both second level linebacker and secondary, that in a number of roles that maybe if we projected right, they could help us right away.
Coach, we appreciate it. I know it's an exciting day and a busy day for you, and thanks for catching us up and giving us a window into the signing day class of 2018.
You bet. Glad to be here.
That's head coach Barry Odom, and if you want to hear more about the 2018 signing day class, be sure to check MUTigers.com. Coach Odom and his staff are going to blanket the state of Missouri in the coming days and weeks for live in-person opportunities. Be sure to check MUTigers.com to see where they will be to talk to you in your area.